Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss about type 2 eccentric bolted connections, that is out of plane eccentricity. So now how to calculate this R1 and R2? So come and tell me how to calculate this R1 and R2. So we know that this is one side and this is another side. Yes or no? So this is pitch by 2 and this is gauge by 2. So if you know pitch and gauge, so then we can calculate. Then we can calculate that radial distance. So R1, how to calculate R1? Here I am writing how to calculate R1. So our radius is hypotenuse. So this is a right angle triangle. So radius is a hypotenuse. So under root P by 2 whole square plus G by 2 whole square. So this is how to calculate. See, this P by 2 whole square plus G by 2 whole square is for this case. So for this type of arrangement of the bolt, as I said, not in all the cases the same arrangement will be there. Okay, not in all the cases the same arrangement will be there. So it changes from case to case, or you can say the study to means connection to connection or design to design. So here it is how to calculate R1 and R2. But for calculation of these radial distances, we require pitch and gauge. That is what you should remember. Okay. So this is how the R1 and R2 we can calculate. Now let us see the direction of forces. We know that direct force P acts always in downward direction. All the bolts present in that bolted group share that load equally. So all these here 4 are there. So all these 4 share that load P equally, and which is nothing but I am going to represent that force F1, and that is always vertically downward F1. For all the rivets it is vertically downward F1. Are bolts. Rivets are bolts. As I said, one and the same. F1. For our balls, this force F1 is a direct shear force because of this direct load P, which is shared by all the balls equally and which acts downward. Agree? Now, coming to the force due to this twisting moment, that is known as twisting shear force. What is its direction? So, that is a formula, but I will show you the direction. So, what is its direction? So, we know that it is a tangential force. So tangential force is always perpendicular to the radius. So radial distance is this. So now this force is perpendicular to this. It means like this, perpendicular to this R1. And that too, this is in clockwise. So this should produce clockwise about the center of that at CG of that group. So it is perpendicular like this, F2. And here it is like this, perpendicular F. Here, perpendicular. So all these force have to produce clockwise moment along about the CG. Agree or not? F2. Now how to find out angle again? So see here for the calculation of angle, this is the angle between F1 and F2. Agree or not? That is the angle theta. So is it clear? Theta. So that is the angle between F1 and F2. How to calculate the theta? See, we know that this F2 is perpendicular to the radius. So this is nothing but how much? This is 90 minus theta. So this is totally rectangle triangle. So this is 90 minus theta. Obviously this is also theta. So now how to calculate theta? Tan theta. So tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent. So there again, opposite is pitch by 2. Adjacent is gauge by 2. So simply P by G. So if you know pitch and gauge, and that too for pitch and gauge, we are having the provisions. If you don't know also, we can find it out. So by knowing this P and pitch and gauge, we can calculate tan theta, and from that we can calculate theta, means for angle between that F1 and F2. So these are the forces that each bolt is subjected to. So first you take down, in detail I give you the notes. Okay, in detail I give you the everything. What is this bolt group is subjected to in plane eccentricity. So first you take down. So take this very clearly. Show the directions F1 and F2. So F2 is always perpendicular to this radial distance. The reason from that is the concept, strength of materials concept. So now force due to direct load. Direct load P. So we know that this direct load shares by all the bolts equally. So now F1 is equal to how much? P by N. So where N is the number of bolts. N is equal to number of bolts. So that is F1, very simple to calculate. Second, force due to twisting moment. Force due to twisting moment. PE. So twisting moment here is PE. So how to calculate force F2? So of course I have shown the derivation of it. So T into R by sigma R square. Here T is a twisting moment. So which is PE? So PE R by sigma R square. So we know how to calculate this R. So these are the forces that bolt group is subjected to. So now after calculating this F1 and F2, the forces in the rivet group because of the external in-plane eccentricity, in-plane eccentric load. So we have to find the resultant of it. Yes or no? So we have to find out resultant of it. So how to find out the resultant? So we can find out the resultant by using parallelogram law. So what is parallelogram law? If two forces F1 and F2 are making an angle theta, then resultant force, the magnitude of resultant, how much it is? Under root F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Yes or no? So now the resultant force. So here the bolt is subjected to two forces F1 and F2. One is direct shear force and another is twisting shear force. And which are making an angle of theta. They, in between those two forces there exists angle theta. So now the resultant force. So now the resultant force Fr. So how to calculate this resultant force Fr? So everyone, how to calculate this resultant force Fr? So by using parallelogram law. So Fr is equal to under root F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos. So we know how to calculate R and theta. So this is the resultant force. Okay, this is the resultant force. For safe design, so this is the resultant force because of external applied load. Obviously, our bolt strength, the strength of the bolt should be greater than or equal to this resultant force. That is the safe design. So design bolt strength. Design bolt strength should be greater than or equal to. Obviously, should be greater, but greater than or equal to Fr. That is the design. So this is the design of in-plane eccentric bolted connection or in-plane eccentricity. So take it down. Again, for this also, if we solve one question, then you'll understand with much clear. So take it down. So before going into the numerical, there exists one question, one concept. Okay, one concept which is very important or which is very useful in calculation or in solving the numericals. Clear? So what is that concept? Let us see. First you take it down. Okay, first you take it down. So that concept is finding out the critical bolt. Okay, finding out the critical bolt. First of all, what is meant by critical bolt? Yes or no? That is a question. So what is meant by critical bolt? Guess, any guess? So critical bolt is nothing but the bolt which is subjected to maximum resultant force. So the bolt which is subjected to maximum resultant force, that is considered as a critical bolt or critical rivet. So now how to find that? Come on, how to find that? How to find that critical bolt? Or how to look at it? The reason here, see, in a given condition there exists n number of bolts. So for every bolt, if you keep on calculating resultant force, it is very, very lengthy process or not? So simply to avoid that lengthy process, first if we locate the critical bolt, so which is nothing but or which is subjected to maximum resultant force. So then if we calculate the maximum force on that bolt and if we calculate that design bolt strength, then obviously if the bolt strength of that critical bolt is greater than the maximum resultant force, then obviously remaining bolts are safe. Agree or not? Obviously remaining bolts are safe. The reason So that is the bolt which is subjected to maximum resultant force. Whose bolt strength is, design bolt strength is greater than F1. So no need to worry then. That is the concept of critical bolt. So in the numericals, so this will be very useful for us. So critical bolt. So critical bolt is nothing but which is subjected to maximum resultant force. Okay, the bolt which is subjected to maximum resultant force is known as critical bolt. So what are the conditions for the critical bolt? So if we see the resultant force formula, what is the resultant force formula? F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta. Agree or not? So if we see F1, what is the formula for F1? F1 is nothing but that load, direct load P by N. So it is same for all the rivets or all the bolts. So F1 is constant in this. Okay, F1 is not changing. So F1 is constant. So simply F1 is nothing but P by N, which is same for all the bolts. Okay, so no need to worry about F1. Coming to next F2. So what is F2? PE R by sigma R square. So now if you observe this F2, in this F2, PE is same for all the bolts and sigma R square is also same for all the bolts. Only changing is R. So when F2 is maximum, so if F2 is maximum, FR is also maximum. So when F2 comes out to be maximum, if R is maximum, it means the bolt which is having more radial distance or which is more radially away from the CG of that group is having maximum F. So what is the condition? R should be maximum. R should be maximum. Agree or not? R should be maximum. That is the one of the condition. So F1 and F2 is completed. Why? Because F1 is a constant for all the bolts and F2 this is the formula. So in this PE and sigma R square is same for all the bolts and R is changing. So if R is maximum, then F2 is maximum. Next in this formula, so F1, F2. Now coming to theta. So theta here, theta is changing from bolt to group bolt. So for which values of theta cos function or cos theta value is maximum? So for minimum value, if we say cos 0, it is 1. Cos 90 is 0. So if increase the theta values, cos function decreases. So for minimum values of theta, cos values are maximum. So the condition for maximum FR, one more condition is theta should be minimum. Agree? So these are the two conditions, and one more condition for the bolt to be considered as a critical is it should near to the line of action of force. It should near to the line of action of load or force, whatever it may be. It means the bolt which lies near to the line of action of that force is critical. So these are the three conditions for a bolt to be considered as a critical bolt. So take it out. This is the concept. So what are the three conditions? R should be maximum, theta should be minimum, and it should lie near to the line of action of flow. That's it. So these are the conditions for a bolt to be considered as a critical bolt. Okay.